Hey guys, as I'm sure you already know, every 3 months, Without Parole does another top 20 PlayStation VR list. So, let's get to it. Here are the top 20 PlayStation VR games as of December 25th, 2019. Demo isn't your typical puzzle game or your typical rhythm game. By combining both genres into one heartfelt adventure, Demo Reborn never gets stale and always gives you a reason to push forward. Stunning visuals along with the classical piano and J-pop inspired soundtrack surround you at every turn on this musical little adventure.
Down by the water there's a place I know.
Catch and Release is more than just fishing, but the feeling of being on a lake, exploring the wilderness, and conquering the great outdoors. After several updates, it now offers even more content with unique weather conditions, nighttime, and secrets to discover. With over 15 hours of missions and items to purchase in the shop, before you know it, you'll get sucked in for hours at a time.
When the sun goes down, I'm going home.
What could you be afraid of?
You've probably heard that Tetris Effect is just Tetris in VR, and so why should you care? Yet when filtered through the mind of Tetsuya Mizuguchi, Tetris becomes a kaleidoscopic experience of synesthesia, where every move you make has a part in creating the audio-visual acid trip that envelops you. This unique spin on a classic puzzler elevates Tetris Effect to a must-have title for PSVR.
And you're keeping the kids because you don't respect me. You push me, and you push me.
Trover Saves the Universe has you playing as two characters in this hack-and-slash platformer, a Chairorpian in first person, and a little purple monster named Trover in third person. And although the gameplay is absolutely spot on, adding new abilities regularly to keep the game fresh, Trover is all about the humor. For a game that only takes a few hours to beat, there must be over 20 hours of insanely funny dialogue that'll keep you laughing from start to finish.
You gotta eat some shit, piss, drink some piss.
Pinball is only as good as the table you play it on, and FX VR2 offers a variety of addictive tables that literally pop out at you. It has several unique themes from Western to fantasy, and DLC has added iconic tables from Back to the Future, The Walking Dead series, and more. The leaderboards and trophies will always give you a reason to go back and raise your high score.
As one of the few PSVR launch titles on our list, Rush of Blood has had plenty of top 20 contenders to deal with in the 3 years since it was released. However, its unique blend of arcade light gun shooting, roller coasters, and horror is so well crafted and widely enjoyable that it will likely remain a classic in the PSVR library for years to come.
I made a lot of jokes about Monster in our top 20 debate, but truth be told, there are still very few PlayStation VR games that make you care about the main character, as much as Moss made me care about Quill. Together, we ventured out of the safety of our village, saw strange new lands, and even slayed giant beasts, all while I did whatever I could to keep her safe.
Combining Matrix-like bullet time and using any item at your disposal to become a merchant of death, Superhot lets you get creative as you shatter red goons in multiple action scenarios. After you clear all the stages, additional modes unlock, allowing you to modify the speed or test your endurance to see how long you can survive. It's a great game for beginners to VR, but it's also really easy to pick back up and start playing again at any point.
Wipeout in VR is among the most intense games I've ever played, yet amazingly enough, the developers have managed to make a breakneck zero-G racing experience actually feel comfortable in virtual reality. Throw in the fact that you've got 3 beautifully remastered games to enjoy in the collection along with multiplayer support, and you can see why Wipeout Omega Collection stands out as a serious no-brainer for VR enthusiasts.
The Persistence is one of the few games I've ever played that uses dying over and over as part of its gameplay loop. And as an awesome horror roguelike, you'll be dying a lot, but every death gives you the chance to level up your character's many stats, allowing you to play the game however you want. Combine this with a ton of weapons and abilities to buy and upgrade, and you've got a PlayStation exclusive that you can spend countless hours with.
Miss me, sugar?
Guns, guns, and more guns. Borderlands 2 VR is an open-world looter shooter that never lets up on the action. You'll have to fight to save Sanctuary as you blast through a variety of enemies and bosses, and after the 20-hour campaign it becomes endlessly replayable as you grind for additional weapons. Gearbox has also added 16 free DLC packs to the game, as if there wasn't enough already.
It's worth remembering that Farpoint is one of the main reasons the PlayStation Aim Controller even exists. Developer Impulse Gear worked closely with Sony to design our awesome little peripheral, and it's fitting that few VR games implement it so well. Sci-fi aficionados with a taste for polished first-person alien shooting, alongside a surprisingly well-crafted narrative, can absolutely not go wrong with Farpoint.
Fascinating scientific opportunity in history.
Are you seeing this?
It's alien. How long do you think it's been here?
But then that came from my family.
There's no trailer or gameplay video that accurately conveys just how impressive it feels to play Blood and Truth. It's one of the best looking, best sounding games on the platform, but more than that, it really makes you feel like the star of an action movie. Scaling walls, infiltrating casinos, and killing hundreds of bad guys in slow motion, or in fast-moving vehicles, is all just part of the job.
I'm on my team, won't quit. I'm a real bad man. I get a bad man hit. Rage. I'm coming for you. I get this result. I'm coming for you. Show no regrets. I'm coming for you. Stop talking you.
Skyrim is possibly the most remade and remastered game in history. But in VR, it's not only a new way to experience this epic fantasy classic, but with all the DLC packs included as well, adding even more content and variety to the mix. Fight dragons, ride dragons, become a werewolf, become a vampire. There's so much freedom to Skyrim, and the world is nothing short of stunning to be immersed in.
Perhaps the most well-known virtual reality game in existence, Beat Saber has drawn in millions with its easy-to-learn yet incredibly hard-to-master rhythm-action gameplay. The lightsabers probably helped too. Since its launch, Beat Games has aggressively updated the game with DLC song packs and new modes, and with their recent acquisition by Facebook, there's no sign they're intending to slow down anytime soon.
After what seems like an eternity in development, Golem comes out swinging. I don't think I'm alone in saying that after seeing the same trailer for almost 4 years, we were all shocked to find that Golem turned out to be heavily focused on sword fighting, blocking, parrying, and attacking other huge stone giants, all while exploring a small open world, was endlessly satisfying, and one of our favorite PlayStation VR games yet.
We dream no more, dream no more.
Starting you off on a random planet with broken equipment and a ship on fire, No Man's Sky quickly teaches you what you need to survive. And after that first feeling of taking off from a planet, you'll have endless worlds to discover and galaxies you can conquer. From riding giant animals to taking on space pirates, the universe is truly at your disposal as you're free to do whatever you want by yourself or with friends.
Much like the popular Rainbow Six Siege, Firewall Zero Hour proves that tactical team-based shooters have a very long shelf life. No other PSVR game has attracted such a dedicated and long-standing online community, and for good reason. Firewall boasts a constantly expanding array of weapons, modifiers, and tactics to deploy, wrapped around a gameplay loop that will inevitably leave you shouting, "Just one more round!"
Move in, move in, move in. Making my way to the stairs inside.
No, I agree. Resident Evil 7 should be number 1 on this list. What could be considered a relatively tame flat-screen game suddenly comes alive and becomes the scariest thing I've ever done once you put on the PlayStation VR headset. And no matter how you look at it, Resident Evil 7 is classic survival horror at its finest, with awesome first-person gameplay, puzzle solving, action, and simply a ton of reasons to play it again and again and again.
Who are all you people?
Eat it. It's good.
Dumb son bitch wasn't no good if it hit him.
Lucas!
Damn, man, not again.
PlayStation has always been known for its memorable mascots, and Astrobot does for the platform what Super Mario 64 did at the time. It has evolved the classic genre beyond belief with its stunning graphics, unique gameplay, and interactive design. Things like looking at yourself with seaweed dreads is something you can only experience with VR, and you won't be able to wipe the smile off your face from start to finish.
Thank you so much for checking out the newest Top 20 list. We do these every 3 months, but in the meantime, we always do new reviews, Let's Plays, podcasts, news reports, everything PlayStation VR related. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to be part of the daily conversation. As always, I'm Brian Paul, and I love you all.